Well, welcome to Afterthoughts. These are some thoughts just off the top of my head. Well, I thought a little bit about what I want to say to you, but after our service today, May 2nd, I spoke on the whole thing of that being deeply rooted in Jesus. Not so much of his ways or even as following his teachings and stuff like that, but just being his friend. And this whole thing is a good conversation to have, this concept of Jesus as our friend. There's something about friendship that brings two people close together, because you can have tons of acquaintances and know people from a distance. You can read about people, on our Facebook and social media. You can find out there's always about. But Jesus doesn't want you just to know about him. He doesn't want you to hit that little tab that says about. He calls you friend, calls me friend, and that friendship brings us closer to him. And we do hold friendships close to our heart. Those are special for us. They mean something to us. And I think one of the glitches that we can have sometimes is if we always think of Jesus as king, and depending on how you grow up and think of kings, but you can think of kings and queens, royalty, are in their palace, cloistered in their big castle, and they have security, and there's not a chance you're going to get to see them, right? There can be this distance that you have and that you maintain. And while we want to honor Jesus and honor God as King and lift them up, at the same time, we can't confuse that with how we view people who are in power, so to speak. Jesus, because we're created from the heart of God. And the analogy that gets used is, he taught us to pray, our Father, right? Which is parental, which is very close. There's a closeness to it. So the Scripture wants us, Jesus wants us, for us to make him our friend, but also for us to be his friend as well. That closeness. Now, the other thing too is the church. We can give you tools to help you get close, but understand, like even today at the close of the service, I read to you a prayer. For me, it's very special. It speaks to me, and it would have spoken to some, but that prayer wouldn't necessarily speak to everybody. Only because we are different. We're made different. Different things fire us, and your friendship with Jesus would look different than my friendship with Jesus, right? They're not going to look the same. And so that's something to consider. We can give you tools, and I have tools that I've found available. Like one of the things for me that is very beneficial is what's called the daily examine. And that's an Ignatian spiritual exercise. It just takes 15 minutes in the day. And I also journal. Those things work for me. But you talk to some people, and journaling doesn't work. Just like some people will just say, I get up really early to be with Jesus, right? And other people go, that would kill me if I got up early, because they're night people. And so we got to custom fit the friendship. That is so important that we do that. But the essentials of becoming friends with Jesus. Number one, time. Takes time. And by that I mean you have to set time aside. You have to be intentional. If you go on a date with your spouse, you don't want to be bringing you can bring your phone, but don't be checking it while you're eating supper. That doesn't make sense. Don't do that, right? You put that aside. You give your spouse full attention, however that may look. The other thing, and I just mentioned it, attention. You give Jesus your full attention, however that looks. You put things aside. You put your to-do list aside. That's what gets in the way for me. All the things I want to do, I set it aside. This is essential. I need that. And the other thing I would say is talk. I know that you would think that would go without any explanation, but talk to God about everything. For example, this morning, I was dreaming throughout the night while I was sleeping, And it was one of those nonsensical dreams, no meaning to it. And I woke up just feeling like tired, and like that's how I woke up initially. And so when I was doing my exam, I started off with just telling Jesus, like, gosh, I just feel so tired. I know I want to meet with you right now, but I'm just not feeling the greatest for whatever reason, right? And but by the time at the end of 15 minutes, it was so good talking with him and telling him how I wanted the day to go, and giving to Jesus my day, and just praying, Jesus, just walk with me as I go through this day. And I thank you. And it ended up being a prayer of gratitude. So I would really encourage you, discover what it means. Talk to God about what the friendship could look like. Talk to God about that. Anyway, those are some thoughts. And it was great that you're just tuning into this. Every week we're going to have Afterthoughts, just, for the teacher to go a little deeper in what they were saying. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will talk later. Good day.